Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I am David Rodriguez, and today we're going to be reviewing Batman Everybody Lies. This was published in 2022 from Portal Games and is designed by Ignacy Trzewiczek and Weronika Spira. Now, weirdly, I'm not sure if Batman's actually even supposed to be in the title of this. It doesn't say it anywhere on the box, but you try to look this up anywhere and it's always Batman Everybody Lies, so it either has a Batman or it isn't, or it doesn't. But I don't know which. But I do know one thing. This game does not have Batman as a playable character, though he is sort of around. Instead, in this game, you're going to be playing some people in Batman's kind of periphery. So Catwoman and Vicky Vale, for instance. And you are basically taking on missions from Commissioner Gordon and all working together to solve various crimes. Now, you do have your own individual goals as well, and you can choose to keep those secret or tell the others, but regardless, you are all trying to get the same thing done, and that is to solve the crime. So, since this is arguably a superhero game, we're going to talk to our superhero expert, the Inconveniencer. What's going on, Inconveniencer?
Here I am, a normal detective, trying to solve crimes.
Okay, that's a pizza cutter, not a magnifying glass.
What? Oh, yes, I deduced that hours ago. Anyway, you can rest easy at home knowing that I will take care of all the crime in the city.
Yeah, I really don't think you will, because you're actually the...
I fooled you. Yes, for it is I, the Inconveniencer, and the Inconveniencer strikes again!
You actually didn't fool me at all. You were clearly the Inconveniencer. It wasn't even inconvenient that you tried to trick me, so...
Shut up.
Well, I'm sorry the truth is so inconvenient for you. Let's go to our gameplay overview. Okay, I'm glad that interview lived up to the high quality standards that I've set for all my guest interviews. So, anyway, let's do a little overview of this game. So this game does have a sort of app. It's a website that you're going to use for it to look up various kinds of things in it, but a lot of it is on cards and whatnot as well. You're going to pick one of 4 characters. You have Vicky Vale, Harvey Bullock, Catwoman, and William Spacey. And each of them have, kind of a different background and go about things a little different ways. During the game, in addition to the main goal you'll have in each case, of which there are 4, each character will have personal goals as well that they're trying to get done. The rules encourage you to keep those goals to yourself. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it does affect your end score at the end if you get those done. And basically, you're just going to, start somewhere on the map, depending on the scenario. You're going to be traveling from place to place based on leads that you get, other things that you find out that make you want to go check some stuff out. Going to those places will cost you tokens a lot of times. You get investigation tokens as you play, and then there's some other tokens that you can also acquire, usually trading in those investigation tokens to get them. So you have to kind of manage that a little bit, although it's not too hard to control those resources, I don't think. As you go on, you're going to be moving a time tracker along the edge of the board for every time you go and follow a lead. And you basically keep going until it eventually goes into like a green, yellow, and then a red area. And you want to get this case solved as early as you can. So the higher up you stay, like if you don't get into yellow and red, you're going to have the best score. If you get down to yellow or red, not quite as good. And then, like I said, your personal goals also affect your final score. But that's basically it. There's not a lot of mechanics.
And when you get to each of those colors, green, yellow, and red, the first tile that you land on has a recap part. And so that's when you can kind of all talk to yourselves and kind of figure out if you feel like you've gathered enough evidence to solve the crime, or if you want to keep investigating. You can file your final report at any time, but they do have those kind of nice blocks to kind of just be like, hey, like, do you want to try and kind of reminders of like, do you want to try and solve this now or not? And then when you are ready to solve it, on the website, there will be a final report. You'll hit that button and then it'll ask you questions specific to the crime that you're trying to solve, and you'll enter in your answers for all those questions. When you're done with that, it'll go into the personal goals, and each person will take their turn answering their personal question. After that's all done, it will give you a final score based off of whether you got the answers correct, how fast you finished the game, and if you got your personal goals or not. And then you just have your final score. So whether it's not really a win-loss condition.
Mm-hmm. And you can, even though that timer track keeps going around, you can actually take as long as you want. It doesn't, if it reaches the end, that just means you're probably not going to score well. But you can, if you want to just keep exploring every single thing as to your heart's content. So that's kind of nice. There's not like a time loss condition. It's just that you might conceivably get everything wrong. So, there's that.
So the art and components are really tied in together with this game, especially since some of the cards are crime scene photos or scene photos, so depending on where you're at. And some those pictures can have some additional information that's not written anywhere else. So I enjoy the artwork that this artist did. Some of the pictures are very dark, which fits in with the theme, but when you're trying to look for clues, it can make it really easy to overlook something.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, it makes sense if you're in a, in the alleys or whatever, they're not going to see too well. But, we still have to see that stuff. So maybe someone with younger eyes than me is going to do better. I'm not sure. But that being said, I think the art's pretty good. Every once in a while, there's a picture that I don't like for whatever reason. It's just a strictly stylistic choice. Like, there's nothing wrong with the art. In general, I like it overall. And I think that the components are all pretty good as well. I mean, I think it's nice thick cardstock for most of the pieces. All the cards seem fine. I really like the cards that are the scene cards that are basically like someone cut out pieces of a comic book. That's really cool because it ties back to the fact that this is a comic book themed game. So I really like that. The only thing that's weird is that your character marker for where your people are is a blimp, which is strange to me because I'm sure you're not traveling around via blimp.
Yeah.
But
the blimp is kind of an icon for the Gotham City Police Department, though, so that's probably why.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is. I just find it kind of funny. But really no complaints as far as the art and cards. I think it's all really well done. So for theme, I think they did a really fantastic job on this. I really feel like you're being a detective. You're going through clues and people's statements and trying to figure out how all these crazy things connect together. I totally I want to get one of those little mind map boards and click, because sometimes there can be a lot of people and trying to figure out how they're all connected like that. You kind of have to. There could be red herrings here. There's things that they're like, do I need to create like a timeline for this? Is that important? Do I need to like figure out where on the map everything happened? Like it might be important, it might not. Like, you kind of have to decide how you're going to focus. And I think that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, the other thing that I think was really smart is that with incorporating the theme, the theme is incorporated with the playable characters too. You're all trying to do this investigation of this crime, but each character can do a little bit different things. Like Catwoman can go to places that nobody else can go to. The reporters can ask people questions without being too suspicious, or they can look at past backlogs of different articles that have been written. You have Harley Bullock, who has the badge to kind of be able to go after some tougher characters and answer some harder questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Overall, I really enjoyed this game. We're both really big Batman fans, so this game really was a draw to us anyways. But even if it wasn't Batman themed, I think I would still enjoy this game. I really like the deducting and the clues and trying to figure everything out. There's a few minor issues that I have with this game as personally, or that I think other people might have with the game. One is because we are fans of Batman, there's some there's some Batman lore that we know of going into this game that, may have helped us out with some of the cases. That being said, also because of that, I could also see it being like, oh, well, like where we ignored some clues because we got on this track of this Batman villain. That may or may not be a big factor in playing the game. Yeah, I think that they do give you enough background information of the characters that you're directly dealing with that if you don't know Batman lore, you're not going to be totally lost, but there might be some minor things here and there that kind of help you out. My other concern with this game is the replayability of this game. Once you do the case, you win at the end, whether you're right or wrong, you find out the answer to the case. And so I think that could be a really easy fix. I think if when you go through and you answer the questions on your final report, if you're wrong, like right now, if you're wrong, it gives you the correct answer. If it didn't give you the correct answer, that would give you a lot more incentive to go back and play the game to find out the correct answer. And then when you're done, it also gives you either a short version of the story of what happened or a full version, or a long version, I should say. I think it would be really clever if they also had it where if you didn't get the answers correct, it gave you a short version that didn't reveal all the answers. And then if you got everything correct, then it gave you the full version of everything that happened with all the correct answers. So that being said, I did really enjoy this game. So I'm going to give this game an 8 just because I do have concerns about how much replayability this game's going to have.
Yeah, I agree. I think the rulebook insists that you can play it again, and you certainly can, but who the killer is who the killer is. So once you know that, you're not really playing to solve it anymore. You're playing to see the different paths that you could have taken and other things that maybe you didn't roll for, which is still interesting, but at that point, it's like it's almost like you're not really playing the game exactly. You're just kind of walking through and taking a tour of things in a sense. So.
Like you could just go like, oh, well, we didn't win this, so let's see what would have happened if we read this card.
Yeah. If they just gave you the option in that, like, do you want to know what the answer was?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Because if you know you're probably not going to play that one again because you just don't want to do that, that's great. You can know. And then, but instead it just kind of pops right up for you. So, don't know if that's a good idea. But otherwise, I'm really very positive on this game. I was impressed at how much it immersed me in this idea of like trying to like solve these various crimes and mysteries. Really fantastic. I love the Batman world trappings and how there's some things that are just like blatantly like okay, well that was for sure this thing, and then some things a little more just kind of pointed to a little bit, and you'll spot those if you're a Batman fan, probably. I like that kind of thing. It's definitely fun and adds to the experience for me. I do think that the whole secret personal agenda thing is weird in this game because it very much encourages you in the rulebook to keep those a secret, but your score goes up if you get those done. And since it says you don't have to keep them a secret, it's incentivizing you to just be open about them because you're more likely to get them done if everyone knows that that's a goal you're trying to reach.
Well, and I don't know about what your goals were, but like I know with my goals, they were very closely tied to the case in general too. So it wasn't like I had to try and lead us away from the case in order to get my personal goal. Yeah,
that is definitely true, I think. So we were only playing a couple of characters, so who knows? Maybe it's different for other people. But no one is like a hidden traitor. You are still all working towards the same end goal to solve the case. So I just think it's kind of weird. I think they should have maybe somehow incorporated the thing where like if you got your secret objective done and you never said what it was, like if you just like tried to direct people to go get this thing done, then you get the extra points. That would make more sense. As it is, they're telling you to do one thing and incentivizing you to do the other. Yeah. Kind of weird.
The other thing is that like when you're at the beginning, when you're when you get your individual goal, there's some additional information that you find out that the other players might not know, and towards the end of the scenario, it's really hard to keep track what it was that you found out yourself, that like only you found out versus what the whole group found out. And so it's really easy to share that information whether you meant to or not.
Yeah, I agree with that. You were getting a lot of information thrown at you, and it recommends you take notes, and I say definitely take notes because there's no way you're going to keep all this straight in your head, I don't think, unless you're just a super genius like Batman. So if you're Bruce Wayne, I guess this is not going to be that hard for you, but I'm not. I don't think. So I'm totally not rich like Bruce Wayne. That's for sure. Bummer. But yeah, no, I pointed out a lot of negatives, but these negatives don't really hurt the experience for me. I really, really enjoy it. I like this kind of puzzle much more than I like an escape room kind of puzzle, even though it has its similarities. These puzzles all make sense. You know, you're really just trying to figure out, based on the clues you're given, like who did what. I love it. It's brilliant. So I think for this one, I'm going to give it an 8 as well. It would be higher. It doesn't really feel like a board game in the way I think of it. Now, I'm not trying to do the whole like, is it a game or is it an activity thing? Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to get into that. It's just the mechanics of this game are really not that important. It's really not that big a deal. They stay out of your way, which is great for this kind of game. I don't want to have to learn a super complicated rule system in addition to trying to remember or figure out these mysteries. So that's great. But it does.
The biggest thing is getting those investigation tokens so that you can spend them to go to places.
Yeah. And that never seems all that hard to do, to be honest. I guess if you're trying to be real tight and not go too many, because usually when you go to follow a lead, you get one. But I guess if you're trying not to get too many of those so your time doesn't keep going, it could be harder, but... And
we also tried to do all the investigation that we could at one spot before we moved on. If we were bouncing around, then it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, regardless though, it is really fun. It just doesn't hit me in the same way that like a board game I'd give a 9 or 10 would. But still really fantastic. So 8 is my score as well. I definitely recommend it if you think, getting into the role of detective sounds good to you, and if you like the Batman universe, and you don't mind that Batman is not a playable character, this is a fantastic way to go. It's really good narrative, really immersive. It's just a great experience, I think.
Batman's not a playable character, but he is in the game. You can go talk to him. So
yeah, you can. I was worried that when you go there, he'd just be like, well, I'm Batman, I already solved the crime, and here's your answer. Like, dang it, Batman, I was trying to... Because I feel like he's Batman. He should have this solved.
Well, he's not doing this crime. He's doing all the other crimes.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. So, anyway. So 2 8s, great score. I do hope you found this video to be helpful to you. If you have, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time we put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye. Oh, look at that old sign. That was probably like the last video, but we're just going to deal with that on that one. Shh, 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 shh. I don't need input from you. You keep quiet over there. God damn it. You didn't fool me at all. You were clearly in the... Nope. I got 99 problems and I'm all of them. It's sad but true. Yeehaw, my butt hurts. My butt hurts. Butt hurts. My butt hurts. If you enjoyed that video, you might also like this one.
Or this one.
Either way, if you could click this button to subscribe so you can see more of our stuff when it comes out.
We'll see you around the table.
Bye.
Bye.